when you got your own place, you have a sense of urgency when you work. Because you can't lose your job. You got bills to pay. You got bills to pay, so you move at a certain pace. Like, oh, hold on, no, I can't lose my job. Hell no, fuck that. Leave it to me to keep it real. Leave it to me to keep it real. That's what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. You know my slogan. We just have to keep it real. We just have to keep it real. And like I say, if you don't like the real, you might not want to watch this video because I'm not sparing nobody. I'm not sparing nobody. We're gonna start the week with some truth. And when I make videos like this, either I've done extensive research or it's been a reoccurring theme. I don't just pop out with this shit because I'm about to go in. What Wayne say, I'm going in. I'm going in. You better believe I'm about to go in. Yes, I'm coming for my brothers today. My brothers that don't want to work. I've been moving around quite a bit lately, you know, handling some things. So I've been relegated to fast food. I've been kind of eating out, you know, Wendy's, Burger King. And what I've noticed, there's a whole new turnover with the fast food industry. What I've noticed is there's a lot of high school kids that just graduated high school that are working. And what I've noticed when I go into, when I'm in certain areas where there's, let's just say, the black workers, my black brothers and my black sisters working, these kids don't want to work. These kids don't want to work. And why am I calling them kids? And I know they're kids because if they weren't kids and they had their own shit, you don't move how they move. And see, this is what goes on when you go in a fast food restaurant nowadays. And it's all brothers and sisters. This is what you do. You're gonna have, I'm gonna just get on the brothers. You're gonna have one brother that's just spaced out high, you know, don't even really, you know, really know what's going on. He just spaced out, really just there. You're gonna have another brother with an attitude, don't want to work. You know, don't want to work. You know, he got an attitude. He walking slow as hell, back and forth. Don't want to work. And I'm wondering how the fuck did these motherfuckers even get hired? How? What's the hiring process with this shit? I don't even want to know. But what the fuck? You gonna have one brother just pacing back and forth, not doing shit. And you gonna have one brother that's really trying to work. You know, he gonna be doing everything, basically picking up the slack for everybody else. Then you have another brother just sitting there doing little shit, ain't really, you know, stickering shit, like, you know, act like he doing shit. But they all going in what you want to call it, in slow motion. Everything's in slow motion. Everything's slow motion. I was at Wendy's, a couple days ago. I asked my brother, he was making somebody else a Frosty. I had a coupon for a Frosty. I'm like, hey, bro, I say, when you get a chance, I say, chick, can you make me a Frosty since you already making one? And he was right there. The cups was right there, everything. He looked at me, shook his head, no, and then walked. Didn't even communicate, really just kind of shook his head, walked. And I'm like, these are the motherfuckers that are getting hired nowadays. They can barely put a sentence together. And this is why I say they're kids. Because if you're not a kid and you have a job, you have a sense of urgency. When you got your own shit, when you got your own place, you have a sense of urgency when you work. Because you can't lose your job. You got bills to pay. You got bills to pay, so you move at a certain pace. Like, oh, hold on, no, I can't lose my job. Hell no, fuck that. But that's how I know these motherfuckers are kids that live with their parents because they have no sense of urgency. They have no sense of urgency. And you would think these motherfuckers would want to work because they don't have to pay no rent. So all the money that they do make goes straight to their motherfucking pocket. These kids don't pay no fucking rent. They not paying no rent. They getting free checks and still don't want to work. Because like I said, this is why I'm calling them kids. Because if they weren't kids and they were young men that had, you know, they shit going on and getting their shit together. And I'm not saying that they have to when you just out of high school or you 21, 22. I'm not saying you have to. But the fact that you're not even moving into that energy of even wanting that. You're not even moving in that energy of even wanting that. You going through the motions, you lollygagging around, you head down, you moping around. You moping around. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want nobody to say nothing to you. So why the fuck are you working? I never understood why people work jobs that they really don't have to work. But people say, oh, we all have to pay bills. We all have to be. Find another way to pay your fucking bills then. Find a way to do what you like and to pay your bills then. Because nobody shouldn't have to look up there and see your slide ass attitude, see your lazy ass, lethargic ass, going through the motions, not really wanting to work. Stay your ass at home. You're not paying no rent anyway. How are they getting hired? How are these young brothers getting hired at these fast food? I see it. It's a reoccurring thing. I don't make videos like this and go in like this if it's either not extensive research that I did or it's not a reoccurring thing, something that just keeps happening. And I'll be like, what the fuck is going on? I gotta talk about this shit. Because this shit makes no sense. These are kids. The future. Don't want to work, don't want to do shit. And when you say something to them, they got an attitude. And they just go in fucking slow motion and you wonder, how the fuck did they get hired? I be thinking to myself, shit, the way I be, when I'm working and doing things, I'm moving at a good pace. Shit, I'm $1 million motherfucker. Them motherfuckers can make $20 an hour going in motion. Going in slow motion. Motherfucker, I'm worth $1 million an hour then if that's the case. I put out 2 videos every day. I work hard, man. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Like, it's sad. It's sad. How are these kids getting hired? How are these black kids getting hired in fast food? Yes, I go in. You know why I can go in and why I can talk like this? Because I'm not affiliated with no community. I'm not affiliated with no group. And I'll never be affiliated with no community or no group because when it's time to keep shit real and it's time to hold people accountable, you look like a sellout when you do that. That's why I never be affiliated with no group or no community or no shit like that. Because I have to keep it real at all times. So I ain't gonna be, oh, here, sellout, this is that. No, I represent myself. I'm an individual. I represent me. Period. You ain't gonna lump me in with nobody else. You're not. If you know how people work and you know how life works, you don't want to be lumped in with nothing because you always want to stand out and stand alone. The fact that you ain't affiliated with none of that bullshit that people be having going on. Agendas and shit like that. Fuck that. Because when you stand on your own square, you allowed to keep it real and you allowed to call it right down the middle every single time. And you don't have to worry about nobody calling you a sellout. You're able to keep it real about anything and anybody. And that's the position I'm always going to be in. To keep it real about anything or anybody. And I'm not going to be affiliated with anything or anybody. Because I look like a sellout making a video like this. If I was all pro-black this, pro-black. No. I'm about right or wrong, good and bad. Simple as that. That's life. Care about no fucking color. All that shit is a fucking setback. And then all it is a setback in your mind and give your ass excuses to why you don't have certain things and why you can't do certain things. That's all that shit is. Real talk. How are black kids working in the fast food industry? Black brothers. How? Supposed to be moving, boom, running the show. Like, I got this, what we need, this and that. Motherfuckers be going through the motions, moping around. Ain't nobody making you work, motherfucker. You ain't paying no rent at home. Because if you was paying rent, this is how I know these are fucking kids and not young men. Because when my mom made me pay rent for working a little job, you know what I said? I said, why the fuck am I going to pay her rent when I can get my own shit and pay my own rent and have my own privacy and have my own shit to myself? That's how I know these motherfuckers is kids. Because as soon as my mom made me start paying rent, I say, why would I pay rent to have a room when I can pay rent and have my own shit, have my own privacy, have all that shit? Pay you rent for what? I could be on my own and pay my own fucking rent. The fuck? That's how I felt. Soon as my mom started talking about some fucking rent, I said, oh yeah, I'm working, so it don't even make sense for me to even be here. The fuck? Yeah, you had to start the week off like that. Real shit. We just have to keep it real. Motherfucker, I'm always going to keep it real. Better believe that. That's what I do. With the P start the week over some fire, baby. But comment, like, subscribe. That's where you help, share the video. Entertain and hit that cash, baby. Motherfuckers better wake up. We are.